Hey everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. We are doing my May roundup where I talk about the previous month and my puzzling and my favorites of the month, some puzzles that maybe didn't hit the mark for me. And I also want to just say May was absolutely wild, completely unexpected in the best way possible. So I went into May with the intention of doing only 1,000 piece puzzles for May Madness. We will discuss that project at the end of the video because let's just say things took a turn. There's some things that I didn't anticipate. There's some things I didn't take into account when I was setting up that challenge. It didn't go as planned, but I'm excited that you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. And if you aren't over on Instagram, that's a good place to go. Hint, hint, there will be several giveaways coming soon as a little celebration. So make sure to be over there, but I also will have some celebrations over here too. So lots of fun things happening. I'm just excited that you're here. I just need to stop blabbing. I'm in a very chatty mood, but it is what it is. Let's just get into the video. All right, let's start off with the puzzle that kind of spun everything around, which was this guy here. It is by Antelope. It is called Hugh Wormhole. I do have it linked down below. And actually, there's several here that I am now affiliates with, which were not the case when I originally did them. So I'll link whatever I can down below, but just know some of those links I do get a commission on, which helps support my channel, which is absolutely amazing. One thing that was really cool that happened is that I do now have an Amazon storefront. So I will try to link that down below, and it kind of gives you all the puzzles that I talk about all in one place instead of going to individual links, which is super helpful. So you'll find that in there. Anyways, enough of the sales pitch. This one in general, I loved it. It was so much fun. Definitely a very cool image. It is a gradient puzzle. There's lots of different textures and patterns. Wasn't very difficult for me. It took just about 5 hours to complete, and it was really cool. It was very fun at the end with the optical illusion, and honestly, I made that reel just because I normally do those style of reels, and it ended up blowing up, and it's absolutely crazy. So I ended up doing this once, did the video, did it a second time, and now it is officially hanging on my wall, and I love it so much. So definitely recommend this one. Really fun time, love the coloring, love the matte pieces. I've done Antelope several times in the past, so I knew it was going to be an incredible quality experience. They do for paper backing, which I know I often say isn't my favorite, and that's the only downfall I have for the brand, but really it doesn't hinder the experience. I did the puzzle twice. It didn't ruin it whatsoever having a paper backing. So that's my thoughts on this one. The next one I'm mentioning is this one here called Brand Castle. This is from Carden Illustrations, which was for a video that I did where I talked to the actual artist. And I feel like for me, part of it is that I am a little biased. That was a really cool conversation to learn about the backstory, learn everything of what she did to create this image, not only from the conversation I had with her, but also with the insert that comes with it, where you can learn all about the different Dracula stories and vampire myths. And it was a really cool experience. The puzzle itself, yes, it looks very difficult, but it is very doable. There is just so much to work with, and I did more of a chaotic method of puzzling, and it actually didn't take me too long. It just took me one night to complete it, and I really liked it. I liked the sky, of course, up here, but just in general, there's so much detail in here, and after learning about her whole experience and how she created the puzzle, just added to the enjoyment for me, and it was really fun. I'm very interested in trying her newer one, which is coming. I follow her over on Instagram, and she is very quickly working through her next puzzle, which I think will be super fun. Anyways, next up we have this one here, which might be one of my favorites of the year, and this is by Soonness. This one is so fun. This one is called Prism, and when I originally purchased it, I just purchased it because I really like the brand. Since that video, I have become an affiliate with her just because I really do like the artwork, and the quality is amazing. Yes, they are very expensive, and so it's very hard for me to recommend them, but they are really good, and I liked it. She did gift me the other two because it was in one of her blog posts, so I also want to just be completely transparent about that. But this one, it was so much fun. You really can't go wrong. If you are newer to gradients, this is definitely an easier one to go with because you only have one row per color, and it's really easy to decipher where the line is and which is the next color. So for me, flew through this one, like took me 3 hours. Fastest I've ever done a 1,000 piece puzzle, and I really loved it. So this one I can definitely see me redoing. So yes, it is expensive. I do love it, and so just do that with what you will. Put it on a wish list, put it on a Christmas list, because it is really fun, and I loved it so much. But let's move on to the next one, which is a puzzle that actually had some issues for me, but I loved the image. So this is kind of like one of my lower rated puzzles in the bunch, but this one is from Enwood Games called Dragon Valley. Image wise, beautiful, loved it, so much fun, so much stuff to work with, never stuck. I loved the image of this one. I love the coloring. The coloring was so bright, so vibrant. But two things that really drew me away from the brand is one, the fit. Holy smokes, crumbly. You can't put two pieces together without it falling apart. You can't move sections, like drag things across the table, because they will just break apart. It was just very crumbly, not really any false fits or putting things in the wrong place, because it is a lot of stuff to work with. You could really easily see if you did that, but it was very, 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 very crumbly. So really want to mention that, but also this is probably the shiniest puzzle I've ever done in my life, which you may not have an issue with. Maybe that's something that you're wanting, but for me, with the window right here and the lighting that I have to do, the lighting above, it was just glare city. So those are two major things for me that makes me not want to do more from the brand, which is such a bummer because I love the image, but it just needs some work. So just wanted to give you that update on this puzzle. Moving on to one that I really enjoyed. So I did this one during a live, and yes, it was super fun just to like chat and chill with you guys while doing this, but also the image of this one is just so much fun. It just screams summer to me. This is by Masterpieces. It's called Weekend Escapes, and it's from their Paradise Beach line, and there's just so much bright color here. I love the fit. I never got stuck. It was just all around just happy and makes me smile. So this is a really fun image. It's just, I loved it so much. So this one here, it's by the brand artist Lena, who is Ukrainian. I just read that on the back, but it is 550 pieces. Loved it, really can't fault them at all. And this is a brand I'm definitely gravitating towards, so I'm sure you'll see more Masterpieces in the future. Next up, I'm so excited for this one. So this one is by Eurographics. It's 500 pieces. I purchased mine on Puzzle Warehouse. And since I did that video where it was like my 12-hour puzzle challenge, I couldn't find it anywhere. It was out of stock every single place that I looked. And I thought it was may have been discontinued, but is not the case. It is just one of their newer images that they're waiting to be in stock. So this is awesome because this is one of my favorites of the month. It is Hammock with a View. I loved it. It's definitely more of like a classic style image, but so bright, so colorful, never stuck. And this is actually one of my fastest times speed puzzling. I did this for a video and I ended up getting it for like 1 hour and 11 minutes. So close to that 1 hour mark, which is my goal. And hopefully the lights do not go out. We have been having crazy wind here, and we might be losing power soon. So fingers crossed we don't, but I loved it, super fun, and highly recommend. Next up, I don't think I've talked about this here at all. Maybe in a haul video, I'm not sure, but this one is by Heart Puzzles. It's one of their 500 pieces, and I loved it so much. It's called Fairy Tales. It's just a crazy collage of like very Disney style imagery, but it's not Disney. It's just like all the different princesses, all the different castles. You can definitely see there's some storylines to it that seem very familiar. And I love the colors of this one. Did a complete chaotic method of puzzling, and it was so fun because there's so much stuff to work from. Never stuck, quick and easy. Love the artwork, and I've been really enjoying Heart Puzzles. This is my second one this year, and I love the 500 piece, nice large pieces, which is great because my hands were struggling this month, and having jumbo size pieces was a must. And then moving on, we have this one, which I loved. It was from White Mountain. It's called Love Stamps. I've had this for ages in my collection. I think it was originally a gift from somebody, and I loved it so much. Now, me and White Mountain, I've been very transparent. I've had very mixed experiences. Some have been complete trash, and other ones like this one were fantastic. And I think it really just depends on when you purchased it or where the manufacturer was. Something that I have done during 2020 when they were printed had a lot of issues. This one here, fantastic. Loved it. Jumbo pieces, massive puzzle. So if you are someone who wants to do 1,000 piece and maybe you have some gripping issues, might be nice to do some of theirs because they do have larger pieces. Because for me, it's about the same size as a 1,500 piece puzzle versus a traditional 1,000 piece. But also saying that you will need more space. So if you are short on space, may not be a brand to go to for their 1,000 piece puzzles, but I loved it. So much stuff to work from. Took me about 5 hours to do, and it was just a nice, fun collage puzzle. Really great fit. I, again, can't really say anything negative to say. Really enjoyed this one. And then the last one I wanted to talk about is this one here by Trle. I did this one during another live, and yes, the image is super, super fun. I really enjoyed myself when I was doing it. I did want to mention just that the fit is just not there for me, and I feel like maybe they use a couple different manufacturers, because some people have said that this is like their ride or die brand. But for me, whenever I do this brand, I've always had pieces in the wrong place very easily, and luckily I have the experience that I can see where things are maybe incorrect. I'm not a fan of picking up puzzle pieces and like seeing if there's light going through it, because that just makes it too difficult to enjoy. But I did like the imagery, and so far I have really liked the puzzles themselves. That is something to mention in case you are a new puzzler, or maybe stay away from images that are really, really difficult with this brand, because you might find some trouble. So those are the puzzles I wanted to talk about, the favorites and the misses. And I did 27 puzzles this month, which is absolutely wild. 26 because 2 were just sections of my 1,500 piece puzzle, which I did complete this month. I'm so excited. That should be already up on my channel if you missed it. For the month, I did just about 15,000 pieces, so I'm really happy with that number. And now let's just go into what happened to my May Madness, because I had every intention going into May doing only 1,000 pieces, and I was doing pretty good at the very beginning. I did my Hugh Wormhole puzzle, I did the Carden Illustration puzzle, I did Soonest, I did Dragon Valley. Like within the first week, I had already done 4 1,000 piece puzzles. I was feeling pretty good about it, but then a couple things happened. One, I went viral, which was amazing, but it definitely made me pause a little bit and had to regroup, and it was just kind of, it wasn't stressful because I thought it was really cool, but it's definitely distracting. And so that is one thing that happened. A second thing that happened is I noticed that my capacity to do 1,000 pieces just wasn't there. Maybe I just used all my power up at the very beginning of the month and ran out of steam. I'm not sure, but I just couldn't, I had no desire to do puzzling at all, because I knew it was going to be a 1,000 piece puzzle, and that's just not how I want to be. I like to love my puzzles, enjoy having them, and it turned out to be like a job, because I was needing to do only 1,000 pieces, and nothing was really screaming to me at the time, just because for me, it was just a lot happening. And then the third thing that I did not consider at all when I started this challenge, and actually was probably the biggest factor for me, was that my RA flared up. And so if you're new here, I do have rheumatoid arthritis. Sometimes it doesn't bother me, other times I struggle. And so this was a struggling month. Weather wasn't the best, but also my hands were just not functioning. Whenever I have this type of flare-up, it makes it really difficult to even pick up pieces. And so for me to pick up standard size pieces was just not possible, and not physically possible to do. I had actually moved to some nights where I had to do 300 piece puzzles with like the jumbo size pieces, and even that was a struggle to get through a full one without having to like pull my hair out. So that was something I did not consider when I was doing my 1,000 piece challenge, was that I may physically not be able to do it. So I ended up switching down to the smaller piece count so I could have some jumbo size pieces so I could enjoy my puzzling experience. And I just wanted to be transparent of what happened, and I definitely learned from that experience. I don't think it's one that I'll do in the future, just because for me, I do have physical limitations sometimes, and so I had to just put a pause on that project. But I do still feel pretty accomplished. I did more 1,000 piece puzzles this month than I had the whole rest of the year, and I also finished my 3,000 piece puzzle, which I'm super excited about. And I did 15,000 pieces, so for me, I just still think it's a very successful month. I really enjoyed a lot of the puzzles that I did, so narrowing it down to these ones was really difficult, but I want to share my favorites this month, and I would love to know which puzzles you are doing, which puzzles you loved this past month, or ones that are on your wish list. I'm always curious. I always look up whatever you suggest down in the comments, because I'm always just like eyeing things and making my own wish list. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to go over on Instagram if you aren't already. So have a fantastic day. I hope you are doing well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.